escalates an unconstitutional conflict with Iran, the call for impeachment grows louder. The stories are not isolated. They reveal how power is exercised, who it serves, and who it sacrifices.
Man, what can we say? What can we say?
I can say that the Ayatollah assassination is extreme and scary for what it means. And I don't have any words. Impeachment. If they impeach him, does he stay? People get impeached and then they seem to continue to serve. So I don't really understand what impeachment is. So
I'll go for that quickly after we get started because I think that is something that is of major importance, but we'll talk about that. Jack, what's up?
Well, the only thing I can think of, Egberto, is oligarchs pledge because it seems to be becoming more and more pertinent every time I say it. So here it goes. I pledge allegiance to the corporations of the United Empire of America and to the economy for which it enslaves all peoples, demonizes and devalues them, passes the profit to the elite 1%, with punishment and tyranny for the poor. Slackers.
Blackers is exactly right, man. You know how we talk about that. But folks, we have a lot to talk about today. But before, we're still in Fun Drive, but we've got so much to talk about, and we will talk about it. We are in Fun Drive. We are not there yet, but we are getting there. Please do. Well, I tell you what, let's start with Sandy. Let's get Sandy started. We'll get into the program, and then we'll, which is probably one of the most important here. Buenos dias, el señor General Manager Sandy Wyman. How you doing?
Very well. Buenos dias, Egberto. I hope everybody is enjoying their Monday morning and waking up to even more amazing news. It's exactly what it is. Release the Epstein files and stop with the distractions now costing lives. I'll get my 2 cents in too. We're doing real well. This is day number 19 of our winter marathon. That's why they call it a marathon, folks. It takes a while to run. We stand at $148,405 from 947 donations, and we're hopeful that we can end this by Tuesday night. So next Monday when we come back here, we won't be talking about Fund Drive. We'll just be saying thank you to everybody that has stepped up and donated. Again, 947 acts of kindness have totaled that sum, over 148K, just remarkable. And thank you, folks. We got a little bit more to go. Our goal on the program this morning is to raise $500. We have our crawfish boil on March 29th, our 56th birthday, as KPFT is officially 56 years old. In fact, 364 days from now, we'll be talking about we're 57 years old. Our birthday was yesterday. So if you didn't have a chance to drop off a little birthday gift this drive so far, this would be a great time. 713-526-5738 or kpft.org. If you can, join us as a sustainer, $5 a month. If a few of you get together and do that on this program, Egberto will easily clear that $500 hurdle. And again, thanks, folks, for all that you're doing and for listening, supporting, and spreading the word about community radio in Houston, Texas. Egberto.
Thank you so kindly for that. You so kindly for that. And folks, a call just came in, but I had the wrong number on the screen. The number to call in the mornings
you're
is
clear, Sandy.
713-526-5738. 713-526-5738. The other number is the afternoon number, and I see a whole lot of folks already in the chat that was out there with me at 10 last night when we went over some of the issues about the Texas race, and many of you out of state had a lot of good stuff to say and bring some value to that discussion as well. Anyhow, I want to address Mayana first. Mayana, this president has already been impeached 2 times. And as you mentioned, it's because of the way the Constitution works why he was never removed. First of all, the second impeachment occurred after he left office, as I recall. But the first impeachment, he was still in office. It was that conversation that he had attempting to bribe Ukraine. The uh, the second one had to do, I believe, if we recall very well, with January 6th, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that said, the problem is that it requires 67 votes to get him impeached, or rather, to get him convicted. Impeachment simply says that the House has found you liable for what you are doing, and then the justice is administered by the Senate and run by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. It is hard to do that in these times because, again, Republicans have been sticking together with this president at all costs. And so he'll likely never leave office through the impeachment process. Because, again, unless something comes out in the Epstein files that actually prove he did what many think he did with underage girls, then it's probably unlikely that anybody in the Republican Party will actually join with the Democrats to impeach him. Now, after November's election, a good thing could happen. People could get sufficiently mad that you get 67 Democratic senators. Unlikely, but when a country is in crisis, interesting things can happen. Let's go ahead and say welcome, Adam W. Marnie, how you doing? Back with you again, Marnie. Lynette, back again. How you doing? We also have in the chat Kat, Dawn, Judy, Randall. Back. I think Randall, you're the person who called earlier. If that is you on the new line, I'll go ahead and get you in a minute. Cindy Adams, welcome aboard. Jane B. from California del Norte, North Carolina. Welcome aboard, Jane B. And Marge KJ. Thank you all for being here. Of course, I don't have the other chat up yet. I forgot to pick that up, but I have it up now. We have Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia. And we have Alan Denson. Good morning. KP. Oh, that's our brother from Missouri City, Texas. Good morning to all KPFD listeners and viewers around the world. Good morning to Jack Van Bever and Mayana and Sandy Weinman and host Egberto Ruiz. Thank you for that. Anyway, let me go ahead and take Randy before I go any further. Randy, come on in. Line number one. And
Good
Randy,
morning.
you're with
Good
me.
morning, Egberto.
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Egberto. Yeah. So the weirdness of my schedule. I am up this morning. I got up at 4:30, and so here you are, and here we are. And things on my mind this morning: 2 people being tested to see if they have cancer this morning. Later this morning.
Oh.
And the bio, the dead people in the bio. But also, there's a new trail over there called Picnic, and somebody found a dead dog over there and a cage. The cage and the dead dog, we don't know how to connect that or not. And hopefully the police department or SPCA will come back today to the person that called 311 yesterday on that. And then there's this thing with Dario and his sister and Anthropic. And the Pentagon wanting to, by tweet, Pentagon and Trump, by tweet, Dario keeps saying tweet, but it's X now, so I love that he still says tweet, that they're tweeting him and trying to restrict Anthropic and its ability to not do things that it thinks are not nice. And Anthropic is just so strong, and it's just we really need to think about what's going on there.
Well, what Anthropic did, and I really thought I expected Anthropic to cave, and they didn't. And instead, now the people who makes Open AI is the one the government is going to go with now, and they're boiling down on all the contracts that they have with Anthropic right now. I think Anthropic will get a boost in the private sector from a government that is attempting to use Anthropic to do God knows what. Well, Open AI is opening themselves that we can be monitored by these AI algorithms, etc. It's interesting because not only is this administration attempting to bully foreign governments, but it's also bullying corporations, something that is supposed to be off the records. I mean, that Republicans have always accused Democrats of doing exactly what they're doing. Democrats have never went as far as actually being in the executive board of a corporation. Amazing. Anything else, Randy, real quickly before I move on with the program?
Yeah, you're familiar with the group that I'm familiar with, and that the cybersecurity circle is over there in that group. And the
Yes.
cybersecurity circle has a group of minds, and there are other minds, I'm sure, in the country that are going to go with Anthropic and battle OpenAI as a security issue.
Yeah, well, we'll see, and we hope it all works. Thank you very much, Randy. Got to go get to the program, my brother. Thank you so kindly.
Thank
Beforehand, I want to. There is one candidate, young man, that I have been very, and I'm going to get to Iran. I'm going to get to not only Iran, but we have another subject at hand. We will get to it, but I want to use these 8, 9. I think it's about 10 minutes or so to allow Fort Bend, many of our listeners in Fort Bend as well, to hear from somebody attempting to be the judge in Montgomery County. This young man so impressed me with the conversation that we had, and I'm trying to make sure that it's linked up, and I think it is just fine. So let's go ahead and listen to him, and then we'll move on with Iran. Welcome to another edition of Politics and Right. I'm Egberto Willis, your host. Today, we're honored to have the county commissioner out of Fort Bend County, who is now running for the whole thing, the county judge. Welcome, Dexter McCoy. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. I'm doing well.
Well, let me tell you, why county judge? Now, you've served as county commissioner. What gaps in leadership or policy convince you that the county needs a new judge? And what makes you the person that should be that judge?
Yeah, well, we're living in some very precarious times where we see politicians who are more focused on fighting for themselves and fighting for the issues of the people of our county. You probably know this well, living here in the greater Houston area, that you read more about scandal in Fort Bend County than you do about the success of our people. And so being from this community, having been raised in this community, now raising my own children in this community, I had a decision to make. Either I was going to be okay with the status quo and business as usual, or really take up the mantle to take on the fight for the people. I believe I'm the person for this job because, like I said, I'm invested in this community. Having grown up here, this community created all the opportunities that I've enjoyed in my lifetime. I've had the pleasure of taking on the fight in the Obama administration, helping our nation's students quality education. I brought that fight right back home, working as an administrator in Fort Bend ISD. But prior to running for commissioner, I was actually chief of staff to the county judge. So I understand what the role entails. I understand the sort of leadership that we need, and I'm looking to bring that fight for the
Now, you
people.
just mentioned that you were the former chief of staff for the current county judge, who's currently experiencing his own problems.
Mhm.
Um, how are you addressing that and not making that cloud all the things you have done for Fort Bend County, and not only what you've done for Fort Bend County, but having been in his office?
Yep. And so, my time in his office ended because we had a misalignment on our approach to leadership in this community. And I think you've seen us in my time since being on Commissioner's Court. He and I often are not on the same page because I'm about doing the deep work. And that doesn't always mean that we're chasing a microphone and jumping in front of a camera. But I think my record speaks for itself. We've done some incredible things like raise the minimum wage for county employees. We've brought paid parental leave for all of our county employees. We've built the African American Heritage Monument, and we're breaking ground on the Black Cowboy Museum. And we've brought broadband services and the internet access to parts of our community who still today do not have it. Those are the sorts of things that our community expects us to work on. And those are the things that I'm really proud to have accomplished since being in office.
In other words, effectively serve the people. Montgomery County is one of the fastest growing counties in Texas. How would
Yeah.
you balance smart development with flood control, traffic mitigation, and environment protection? Because those all go hand in hand.
Yep. So you're right. Fort Bend County is one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Texas. We have an incredibly diverse population. Over a third of our residents are foreign born. People flock to Fort Bend County from all over the world. But because we are a rapidly growing county, our challenge is to be able to account for that growth, control that growth. It's a high bar. One of the major issues that we have in Fort Bend County is transportation infrastructure. Soon we're going to be over 1 million people in population, where just 30 years ago we were fewer than 250,000 people in the entire county. And so trying to find ways to keep up with that growth by planning ahead for our traffic needs, making a master plan for where we're going in our major thoroughfares, but also thinking about how we do things like bus rapid transit in our community to connect us into the core of Houston, so that we take more cars off of the road. But we have to fight to make our community more affordable, because, me and my wife, we built our first home in this community when we were 28 years old. A 28-year-old starting their career now
You
couldn't do
can't.
that
Yeah.
because it just financially doesn't make sense. And then we have seniors who are losing their homes because of rising homeowners insurance and property tax bills. And so those are things that we have to tackle. And I'll just say this last part to your point about drainage. We are actually right now completing a drainage study for that exact reason, to make sure that we are making those investments in regional detention, that we are making improvements to our drainage channels, so that this new growth doesn't cause flooding in the homes of our existing residents.
I can tell you, Fort Bend County is a beautiful county. We had an event, the Panamanian event out there recently, and I hadn't been to Fort Bend in a very long time,
Oh
and I
yeah,
didn't recognize it at all. It
that's
is
right. It's
a
changing.
it's a big city in its own,
Mhm.
well-developed city in its own right. So it does need to have controlled growth in a manner that serves the people. Let's talk a little bit about healthcare. What's your intent? In Harris County, with all the problems we have a robust healthcare system on a county wide. What's your intentions on with that in Fort Bend?
Yeah, this is a big topic for me. I actually sit on the board of the Oak Bend Medical Center, which
Mhm.
is our county's only public hospital. And so I understand very keenly the need for accessible healthcare. We brought the first residency medical training program to Fort Bend County, and that's starting this coming fall, where we have residents who will be trained for a doctor in osteopathic medicine program to be able to actually understand how to treat folks who come from poor communities, and to understand their needs. We just broke ground last week on the Mission Bend Senior Center, which is a 24,000 square foot facility that will include a full clinic. That's in partnership with Access Health, where whole families will be able to get access to healthcare. We have to make healthcare accessible to where our residents are by locating clinics and resources in their community. But we also have to make sure that for those folks who don't have health insurance coverage, and it's a high number in Fort Bend County, over 70% of those who are uninsured in Fort Bend are actually working but not provided insurance through their employer. That's the awful part about our health insurance system in America. But how we take care of the indigent, how we take care of the uninsured is a challenge that we're going to have to take on and explore what that looks like in partnership with our community.
Now you're young. There is a whole lot of good old boys out there,
Yeah.
uh, and many, and they know how to work the system and convince folks that somehow it's preferable to have that experience. Now, you've gained your experience with having been the county commissioner, but
Mhm.
there are still people that may need some convincing. What would you say to them? Why you know that at this level you are ready to do the job? You can do the job that the current judge is doing right now and doing a
Yeah.
better job at it.
Yeah. Often I've been the youngest person in the room my entire career. At 27 years old, I was managing people who were twice my age, and older than my parents. It's just been what I have lack in years, I make up for in wisdom that I've gained by listening and learning. I don't pretend to know it all. I surround myself with good people who can advise me on what it is that needs to get done. And I have a great ability to build strong teams. But I'll tell you this, in this race, we've had probably 10 or 12 candidate forums with all of the candidates who are running for this office on both the Republican and Democratic side. And I think if you go back and watch any of those forums side by side, I am the most knowledgeable about what this job entails. And I can speak with clarity about what our community needs and specificity. Why? Because I've taken the time to learn what are the issues by being in the community. I've held over 37 town hall meetings in just the past 3.5 years that I've been in office. I've held more town hall meetings in my 3.5 years than many of my colleagues have held their entire career because I don't believe I can appropriately serve the people unless I'm on the ground with them, understanding their issues, and then bringing the people to the table to help address those. So I'm the only candidate in this race who has both federal and local experience. And I think that means something for a role that requires us to bring money in the form of grant funds here to our county and help to oversee major infrastructure and
I
business
interview a
development.
lot of people. It's clear that you definitely do your homework.
Mhm.
Last question. What did I miss? What should I have asked that I didn't?
Yeah. Well, I would just say that, our community needs leadership right now, and that our community needs leadership that's focused on the people. And so, my family, I'm originally from a small town in Louisiana where the start of my grandparents' driveway was the end of the city limits. My parents were teenagers when I was born. But for the grace of God, first off, and then the value of education in my grandparents' household, I might not be here sitting talking to you. Once my mom graduated from school, we moved here to Houston or to Fort Bend County with my stepdad, and that made all the difference in the world. I love this community and I understand this community because I've been among this community. And now I'm asking to lead this community and bring to it the resources that we need, not only for our folks to survive, but to thrive.
Fort Bend County Commissioner Dexter McCoy and current candidate for county judge. Good luck. Thank you so kindly
Thank
for
you.
having been on Politics Done Right.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. I hope you like that. Okay, folks. Look, we're going to get to Iran. Important stuff to cover in a minute. But please remember, we're still in fund drive and we still have some money to raise. Our goal here for this program, ensure that we don't get thrown off the air, is $500. And to get there, we need to start like now, please. We have currently the amount of people that are supporting me this morning, not me, that's supporting KPFT via Politics Done Right this morning. The amount of people, you would not believe it. It is zero. Zero. I want to ask kindly from the depths of my heart, please let's start now. Please let's get to that $500. And we can do that in many ways. You can become a sustainer. There are thousands that are listening right now that have never, I know you can, you want to, but it's a hassle to take that one step and make that call to 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738, extension number 1, and donate whatever you can. We are asking for sustainers, if possible, if you can, that they just take $5 a month, or $10 a month. I'm a $10 a month contributor. Even as I do this program, I don't get paid for this program. We do this program, we prepare for this program. So the contribution is both the program and my $10 a month. I would give more if I weren't supporting so many other 501c3s and other organizations. And I know a lot of you that are listening to me right now, you give $10 to the American Heart Association. You may give $5 a month to the Cancer Association. You may give $10 a month to the to many other organizations, which is what I do. Have a budget of what's the total I'm able to give to these different organizations and split it out. And I'm asking you to add us to your repertoire. I mean, it's, $5 a month. I guarantee you won't feel it. It's a coffee that you say, let me give this coffee to KPFT. Let me give this coffee to KPFT. $5 a month. Well, actually, I think the coffee from one of the coffee shops now is probably close to the $10 a month. I mean, $10, right? So can you do $10 a month, $5 a month, whatever you can? Or get a t-shirt. The Politics Done Right t-shirt is $100 contributions, and you don't have to pay it all at once. You can have Coffee with Egberto. That is $250. Or you can get a block. Memorialize yourself on the KPFT walk, if you will. That is, you can do it for $25 a month for a 4x8 brick, or you can go for the 8x8 brick for $50 a month. There are a lot of ways to help us. You can go to kpft.org, select the donate button, scroll down to Politics Done Right as a program you're supporting, and give whatever you can. But right now we have a grand total of 0. I know we can do better. We need to raise $500. I ask somebody to be the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh donation this morning. And we're going to get into Iran as soon as I get back from Sandy. We're going to get into Iran. There's a lot to say, and we're also going to get into hunger. Stay with us, please. Sandy, are you there?
I am. Thank you, Egberto. You talk about the $5 a month. I got a buddy that really liked donuts. And every morning he would spend $5 at the donut shop. And this went on for a while. And pretty soon he found himself kind of gaining a few pounds. And the few pounds turned into a few more. And then he had to go to the doctor for a physical. And then he got on a weight loss thing. And his insurance didn't cover it. And it's now costing him $1,100 a month for the drugs. And if he'd only given the $5 to KPFT instead of the donuts, he wouldn't be in that fix. Perhaps you're doing something out there with your $5 that's doing you no good. Throw it to KPFT every month. Join as a sustainer and feel good about it, and you'll break a bad habit at the same time. So many benefits. A $100 pledge, you can get a Politics Done Right t-shirt. You can wear that while you're on these Zoom calls with Egberto. Everybody can come dressed up in their t-shirt, Politics Done Right t-shirt, and show your colors. I appreciate the fervent audience that you've built here, Egberto, and I really appreciate all the donations that have come through the first portion of this drive, the first 18 days of this drive. This audience has responded very well. Again, we're trying to raise another $500 this morning and get us just a little bit closer to our overall goal. I'm hopeful that by Tuesday night we can end this drive and be in good position to continue KPFT for the next 3 months following without asking again. We've already been able to cut out one drive, a whole drive, because of sustainers. Think about it, folks. And if you're already a sustainer, say you have a $5 a month plan, up it $2.50 a month. I challenge you. Add $2.50 a month to that membership. That goes a long way too. Just that extra $30 a year. It's amazing when we all get together what we can do collectively that we cannot do individually. No one person that I know of is willing to write a $175,000 check to KPFT, although we have had many donors provide substantial amounts. That hasn't happened, and I hope it doesn't happen, in that I'd rather see 1,750 people donate a little bit of money each to get to that goal. Folks, our number 713-526-5738, option 1, our URL, kpft.org. You will find a donate button. You can click that. Again, March 29th, $75 for a single ticket, $130 for a pair of tickets to the KPFT 56th birthday party, which is taking the form of a crawfish boil. We're going to have Los Vertigos and the Zydeco Dots playing music for everyone while we chow down, pinch and peel, and have a good time. And on April 18th, we have Nuri on a 3-hour float on Clear Lake. Those tickets, they are $150 each or $275 for a pair. And that's for a 3-hour float with food, drink, the blues, the big boss man of the blues, Nuri, and a lot of your fellow listeners enjoying a good time. If you want both of those, you can get them, and I think there's only a couple of these opportunities left. The manager special, which is $365, 2 of you doing that, and we make the goal. It's very easy to support this station. It's even easier to lose it with your silence. So somebody break the ice. Let's get on our way to $500 and make sure we fully fund this program this morning and get our Monday off to a terrific start. This will be the final Monday of the drive regardless. It's scheduled to end on Sunday, this coming Sunday. However, we're not going to get that far with it. And again, I'm hopeful that by Tuesday night, we will have completed our course of funding for the winter of 2026, our 56th year of operation, commercial-free, serving the Houston community and making shows like this possible for you to listen to. Egberto.
Thank you so kindly for that, Sandy. Imagine if Sandy can end this drive on Tuesday. That means Wednesday, we can start taking all those calls and coming with the longer interviews and doing all these great things. I want to salute Cheryl Elkins in the chat.
Andy, you're clear.
She is still making sure and let folks know that we are having the Zoom coffee with Egberto, and she wants you to know you don't have to be on camera for those who are camera shy. You can just do the voice or you can just listen in or whatever. But we are doing the Zoom coffee with Egberto between 7 and 9 p.m. on March the 6th, between 7 and 9 p.m. on March the 6th. That's on Friday, guys. Cheryl has been wonderful contributing and saying, I am contributing so that we can all have that Zoom, that coffee Zoom that we're going to have. And I hope you see, Cheryl, that I had that in the newsletter this morning with the link to connect. A lot of folks are chatters and a lot of folks are listeners. Sometimes you have to pull somebody's leg. Say, let's go ahead and do a coffee Zoom, a Zoom on coffee. Sit down there with your cup of coffee and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Also, I want to welcome Adam W. How you doing, Adam W.? I saw that you have a long Substack message that I've got to read. I just didn't get the time to read it this morning. I think it's you. I'm going to get to it. Patricia Alwyn, welcome aboard. Janice Fayette as well. Welcome aboard. We have, I think, let me scroll back down here. I must salute my people. Let's see what else we've got here. Kathleen Ennen, welcome aboard. Darlene, welcome aboard. If I miss you, forgive me. Dr. Rawson, welcome aboard. Norman, welcome aboard. Is this Norman, my brother from Jamaica? Let me know. LBW is in as well. How you doing, Professora LBW? How is your beautiful daughter? Is she okay? I know you were up late last night because you were having to take care of her. Ginger from Missouri is in the house. Thank you very much for being here. Marnie, I see you again. You did wake up, Marnie. You went to bed late and you still woke up. Wow, you guys are great. If I miss you, just throw it back into the chat. Tell me your city and state. I'll be more than happy to call you out. I'm scrolling. A lot of folks to scroll through. A lot of folks to scroll through. Anyway, likewise, Lee the Beer Cat from Austin, Texas. All right, let's talk a little bit about Iran. I saw a general on CNN yesterday, and this general was just talking about how evil Iran was, of course. And by the way, I'm not going to ever sit back here and defend those clerics who do not respect women's rights, those clerics who don't respect freedom, those clerics who are horrendous. Iran's government is horrendous, no doubt, no doubt. But what he wanted to do is he wanted to say, as far as for justification for attacking Iran, not acquiescing to everything the United States wants, he goes back. Remember how bad these people are and what they did back in 1979. And I am pulling the hairs out of my head that I don't have, because we don't and we shouldn't allow them to frame Iran through 1979, the hostage crisis. That is the wrong framing for Iran. Because Iran, the clerics in Iran didn't get powerful because they just got powerful. Iran was a thriving democracy back in the 50s, in the early 50s. In 1951, they decided to do something that every country should do, and that is to make sure that its natural resources are not exploited by some capitalist company, some capitalist domain, but that the resources of that country belongs to that country, to the people in that country. And Mohammad Mossadegh did that. And he was a loved, very loved prime minister of Iran. You don't hear this story because the story is not one it's a story of democracy. And we love to preach democracy in this country, but we do not in general support democracies around the world. We love dictatorships because we work with Somoza in Nicaragua. We don't have to worry about what happens with the people, whether he murders them or whatever, in order to attain the goals. We work with Batista in Cuba. We don't have to worry. We work with Noriega in Panama at some time. We don't have to worry. We work with Baby Doc in Haiti. We don't have to worry. And that's what we did in Iran. And Iran, as we overthrew with MI6 in Great Britain, Iran, so that we could take control back of their oil, what happened is the radicals came into power. So you see what they are doing to you. You believe in democracy. Look at what democracy has done to you. Democracy? And that's why the 1979 revolution occurs. It has the genesis of the United States and Great Britain. And you know how to mitigate that? Doing the right thing. But that's not what we did. That's not what we did. We were going to be mighty and strong to take folks' resources. If you want to see a repeat of that, just go to Venezuela. Venezuela was not a financial basket case. We made it a basket case with using our prowess, our economic prowess that we control, moving monies around the world through SWIFT. We did all of that to cripple these countries. It's what we're doing to Cuba right now. Cuba is still holding on. Cuba came to the United States and said, please, after the revolution, where we actually were going to institute policies for the people, we came to the United States first, and the United States said, get away. So they went into the next arm of the Cold War, and that was the Soviet Union, then, now Russia. These are things that our corporations have inflicted on us through our government. But because we don't believe in critical thinking, because we're trying to keep Americans dumb, we don't get it. Now, what was interesting in that, in all the coverage yesterday, is after that general says, go back to 1979, and I said, wrong year, wrong year, wrong year. No host on ABC, NBC, CNN, all of them, no host try to go ahead and tell the actual story. This is not a defense of the clerics. This is not a defense of the the cleric who was murdered, the Grand Ayatollah. What it was is understanding what happened and how we mitigate it. And the idea that killing the head of state is something any country should do. Who the hell do you negotiate with? Who do you do that with? Suppose some other country says, I don't like that Donald Trump has had his corporations come into our country, extract and steal our resources. We are going to knock him. Suppose another country said that. You have opened the door to say it is okay to go after the head of that state. The reason you don't cut the head off is you want to have something with power to negotiate with. You would have thought that Donald Trump even saw that in Venezuela. As he took Maduro, he made sure that Delcy Rodriguez stayed in power because the whole government infrastructure is there and cannot be changed on a dime. And first of all, what the hell are we doing deciding how these people are going to perform? Now you see what the United States is trying to imply, that they're going to put the prince, the former son, I think it's the son of the Shah of Iran, somebody who knows nothing about Iran over the last 50 years, to somehow be the puppet over there if possible. Sick. Imperialism could work in the past. Imperialism cannot work anymore, America. Imperialism cannot work anymore. You may get short-term victories, but ultimately it has to fail because we no longer have a separated community. Look, folks, we're still at 713-526-5738, extension number 1. I know we're getting into Iran. We have to get into Iran. We need the knowledge. Standard said he can cut this baby off on Tuesday if we can raise the funds to complete the job. I ask you so kindly, my brothers and sisters, please somebody call. Please somebody go to kpft.org and donate whatever you can. This program is at 0 and we are at time 44, the hour 44 minute, and we are still at 0. Please, let's make a difference. I'm going to go to the phones. I'm going to have to hold it to about 45 seconds each call before we get back and finish about Iran. Let's go ahead and go to Morgette on line number 1.
Good morning. Texas, please. Voting is your civic duty, and the only way we, the people, have to remove those who are not representing us in our government. So if you are eligible to vote, please go vote tomorrow, because your vote is more powerful than their money. Thank you.
Thank you so kindly, Morgette. Morgette is absolutely right. You know, I can complain, we can complain, I can talk, we can talk. But unless we do our civic duty and vote for the right people, the people that are going to support our democracy, she's right. Jared, come on in. Line number 2. Let's get about 30 seconds or so. Come on in, Jared. Jared, you're on. Jared going once, going twice. Let's go to Jimmy. Come on in, Jimmy.
I'm glad you're taking on Iran. It's a horrible country. In January of this year, they had peaceful protests over there, and their military just shot the people down. They killed over 6,000 peaceful protesters, and they wounded another 11,000 protesters. It's horrible what that country does to freedom over there. So that way, I'm glad we're doing what we're doing with Israel, but we should get the approval of Congress. It should not be President Trump starting these wars by himself. It should be the approval of Congress, but I'm glad we're doing what we are doing to this horrible country, which also sponsors terrorism around the world. So
thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Mixed feelings there, but we are doing the right thing.
All right.
I understand the mixed feelings, Jimmy. I gotta go to Betty. Thank you, Jimmy. We'll talk. Betty, real quick. Beautiful Betty, come on in.
On the yeah, on the donations, let's unjar some. Get up, put down, and I'll throw in this: the cow's not safe in its own barn. Give 90.1, Alberto. Make a move right now. Put your own beat down. Love y'all.
Love you, Betty, and thank you for that plug. Thank you. I love you for helping us out all of the times, Betty. Again, we are at zero. You can change that by calling 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Let them know the contribution is to be for politics done right. Whatever you can, $5 a month, $10 a month, a one-time contribution, whatever you can. But we are at zero. Or go to kpft.org, kpft.org. Hit that donate button. Let's get donating. Let's go to Terrence, line number 1. Come on, Terrence.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello. I have a comment about Iran, and that the official name of Iran is the Islamic Republic of Iran. That makes them Republicans. The Iranians, these turban toters, are a bunch of Republicans.
Thank you very much for that, Terrence. You have a wonderful rest of your day, my brother. Oh man, we have the best listeners here. We just need to get some support from a few more. If you please can. 713-526-5738. Look, guys, I had a piece that I needed to play on hunger. It's 7 minutes long. We don't have 7 minutes to give, given that we haven't raised a penny yet. So now we are going to have to do quite a bit of pitching to really ask you to support us. I'm going to drop it off to Sandy for a second. Look, while Sandy is talking, and Sandy talks for a little while when he's talking, you can use that time to donate, to make a call, donate, 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org while Sandy is talking. And then if a call comes in, if we see some money on the screen, there's a lot more I need to say on Iran, and I'll go there. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait till another day to go through these other things. So please do that now. Sandy's going to talk for a while. While Sandy's talking, you can make that call. Sandy, my brother.
Thank you, Egberto. Just going to take a minute or two here, and not any more than that. We have these callers on the line. We're going over vital subjects. It just seems to come at us faster and faster, and it's hard to deal with. But thank goodness we have KPFT. We have this pressure relief valve every morning where you can call in, you can discuss it, you can get what's on your mind, off your mind, and on the air. Not too many radio stations are going to allow this in the format that we're doing it and the subject matter that we're doing this. You know how it is with the media, the chill factor with many journalists and media outlets. It's amazing. It really is. Pacifica and KPFT don't take any government money. We get very little in the way of grant money. Grant money is just simply hard to come by these days. We get a lot from our listeners. That's everybody now. Over 95% of our funding comes directly from listeners. Our budget is as lean as it can be. The business manager, Markeisha Van Zant, told me, hey, it's budget time the other day. So we're thinking about this year and what we're going to budget for and how we're going to grow. We've been able to do some physical improvements around the station. We're doing some work on our signal, trying to harden that. Engineer Mo will be down here Friday, and we're going to be installing a backup transmitter and hopefully a little generator to go with that, so that when we get kicked off the air by the power company or a natural disaster of some sort, there's a way to keep reaching everybody. And to do all this, we need dollars. We need money. We need the commitment from people to power us through the coming months. When you make your pledge of support, if you do that and you say, I want to do that on a sustaining basis or pay something over 12 months, it's a commitment, it's a promise. You don't have to pay it all right now. But with a $500 goal, if 5 of you do a $10 a month sustaining membership, we make the goal very easily. And at the same time, reward yourself with a Politics Done Right t-shirt or our 1980s vintage throwback t-shirt displaying the entire galaxy on the front of the t-shirt with an identifying arrow saying, "You are here." KPFT established 1970. And the reason for radio? Pacifica. Free speech radio, community radio. It doesn't get any better, folks, but it also means that we don't do commercials. And again, we ask you for your support, and we are at zero. Absolute 0.0 on a Monday morning. Let's not finish at 0.0. Let's make this goal. Let's get together, a few of us out there, and put down some money. Myself, I contribute monthly, and I up my sustaining membership every year at the start of the year, $5. So every year my sustaining membership grows. Perhaps you already have a sustaining membership and you can join me in that. I talked to a gentleman this weekend that wanted one of those vintage t-shirts. He says, "Hey, I'm already a sustainer. How do I get a shirt?" And we worked it out. He increased his sustaining membership $2.50 a month, and the shirt is coming to him. Those with sustaining memberships, you're going to get our 56th anniversary pin in the mail at some point. We're working to make that happen now. But for those of you with those memberships, perhaps you can up them a little bit. For those of you that have never, ever contributed, not this drive, not ever, sometimes it takes a little while. You might have found KPFT a few months ago, maybe today. It takes a little while for you to decide this is worth it. Maybe you're at that point. But I'd like to see at least us make our goal on this morning program. It comes to you every morning. The cost of broadcast of this program, it's around $30,000 a year to our listeners. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. And be as generous as you can, and thank you to all those that have already donated. Egberto, to you.
Thank you so kindly for that, Sandy. Thank you so kindly. We're still at zero, my friends. We're still at zero. I hope some of you were started the
You're
call as
clear,
Sandy
Sandy.
was speaking. Now let's go. 30 seconds on the calls because we have to raise some money. Come on in, Patrick. Line number 1. How you doing, my brother?
Hello?
Yeah, Patrick, you're on. 30
Can you hear
seconds.
me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I
I
can.
just wanted to call in response I wanted to call in response to Jimmy's phone call, and I'm trying to keep it constructive. But I mean, I'm beside myself on hearing somebody talk like that, and I'd like to point out that Israel and the United States behaves very similar to the criticism he has for Iran. I'm not defending Iran, but we're not doing anything different than they are. Israel has a policy of shooting their own soldiers, to keep them from getting interrogated, and they shoot and kill their own protesters. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much, Patrick. There are a lot to talk about, but we have this time constraints. We'll go into that another time. But thank you for that, Patrick. You can actually expand on that on our 3 o'clock show. Let's go to Ryan. Come on in, Ryan. 30 seconds. Let's see. Ryan, he'll be in a second. 30 seconds for Ryan coming in a minute. Let's see. Maybe we'll get that right now. Come on in, Ryan.
No, it's actually Brian. And the United States.
Brian. That wasn't bad, guys. But anyway, let's see. Let me see where to go here. Later on, we'll talk. Anyway, let's go ahead and say this. We got one contribution. Thank you very much, Susan. Additional one-time donation per Sandy's story. I'm giving up my beer this weekend and donated $25. Hey, Sandy, that story is a good story, and it's a true story that he tells. It's a true story. So we are now $475 away, but at least we're not at zero. Not seeing anything on that screen is very, it's almost like the good thing is I know I have people in the chat I'm talking to, so at least I know I'm to the few people that I'm not just talking to dead air. Thank you for that, Suzanne. You made my day. Now, folks, could you follow Suzanne? We need $475 more, and I know there are people that are listening. There are people in their car right now. And look, if you're in your car and can't do this right now, let me just say this. You can still go to kpft.org when you reach your destination if you don't want to stop the car and do this. And when you do that, click the kpft.org, click the donate button. You can still go ahead and select Politics Done Right as the option for the program you're supporting and give whatever you can. Likewise, for those that are listening right now, you can call in right now. I don't have any more programming to do because, again, we have to pitch to try to raise some money. We have if we get to the goal by Tuesday, as Sandy is hoping for and predicting for, we will be able to cover all this stuff and take your calls as well and cover all this stuff and go into detail about what Patrick just said relative to what our brother Jimmy just said. Let me just say this, Patrick, when it comes to what your response to Jimmy, and I love that you said you want to keep it positive. We only know of what we are informed, and and whom we trust with the information that we're given. That's all we know, Patrick. One of the reasons I have a lot of that I make sure to have a lot of compassion and empathy, etc., is that I understand people are victims of how they were reared. That's why I can talk to anybody, racist, misogynist, sexist. I can speak to whatever because as long as I understand that they are victims of how they're reared, I can work with somebody and say, and this is how things should, what we need to work towards. So that is one of the goals I hope of this program as well. A place where everybody can congregate and that we can reach everybody at some point. Now, there are some people that are immutable. There are some people that really are, in fact, wired as the scourge of the earth. There are some people that just are wired evilly. The evil is just how they are wired. We can't do anything about that. But there are most of us that are good people and are simply victim of the information that we get and because of how we were reared. And those are the ones that we work with. This is KPFT Houston. Had to do a station ID at the top of the hour. We only have about 4.5 minutes to go, folks. 4.5 minutes to go. And we're still at one and only one contribution at $25. I know we can do better than that. There's a lot that goes into the program, and there's a lot that goes into all the folks that are here, from Jack, who drives in a whole long distance to be here every morning, leaving his place for something in the mornings to be here. There's Howard, who diligently keeps all the engineering of this station up. There's, of course, Sandy, who is our general manager, that has to keep all the pieces together. Sorry, Sandy, that's your damn job, man. Can't help you there, dude. And working with what you have to work with. Sorry, your job. And there is so many out here making things happen. So I'm going to ask Sandy to close us out with a minute or so. Then we'll go to the studio and close this baby up. But please go ahead and call now, folks. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Or go to kpft.org. Please remember to select from the drop down that it's Politics Done Right you're supporting, or tell the person on the call that you're supporting Politics Done Right. Sandy?
Yeah, I was talking to one of our volunteers who's a bit of a psychologist, and he said if there's somebody that's on a sidewalk and falls and needs help, if there's a lot of people around, then what happens is nobody helps. If there's a few people around, maybe one or two, they go rushing over. in a big crowd with a lot of listeners like we have now, you might figure, oh, somebody will pick it up. Suzanne pledged, they're fine. Folks, that's not the thinking that we need to employ here. You've got a community radio station. You've had this station for 56 years. This wonderful place where folks can come and ply the art of radio, do their shows like Egberto is doing here. It's a place that we need to keep open, the lights on, the transmitter on, all the paperwork, fees, licenses, every little bill that comes in, and you'd be amazed at some of them. I know I am. But they need to be paid so that we can ensure that KPFT continues as an unfettered voice on the airwaves in Houston and obviously well beyond, based on this audience's contribution alone coming from all over the country. And a bunch of you getting together, and Egberto, we just got another pledge. I'm going to let you thank that person here, but a bunch of you getting together will make it possible for us to keep our radio station. A lot of community radio stations are disappearing. I got to call out to some of these stations to see if we can just get their CD players, because ours are failing. And guess what? No, they don't use them anymore. But the point is that a lot of stations are struggling. And KPFT will struggle too if we don't make our overall goal on this drive, or really any drive, because we're asking for only what we need to continue. I mean, sure, I want gas for the KPFT limo. I want aviation fuel for the KPFT jet. And of course, there's our yacht, right? We need to keep that up too. None of that. Seriously, folks, none of that. We're getting by thanks to you. We were able to pull it off the rocks in 2022 and continue our station on, and we're here today. But the risk of losing KPFT is always present. And I'm asking you kindly, folks, think about this carefully and do your part. $5 a month, $10 a month, one-time pledge, whatever it is, do your part. It's Monday. It's the final Monday of the drive. Maybe. If nobody contributes all day long every day, well, I don't know. But hey, I know you guys are out there. I know you enjoy the program. But please consider that this station doesn't run on prayers and best wishes. It runs on dollars. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Honor the commitment of Egberto, a volunteer. Honor the commitment of our studio crew, again, largely volunteer, waking up at 4 in the morning, getting their tushies down to KPFT, hopefully brewing a pot of cruiser coffee, and go on with that. Speaking of coffee, $120 pledge. Get a KPFT coffee cup and a pound of coffee beans. The Caroline Street Coffee. 713-526-5738 or kpft.org, Egberto.
Thank you so kindly, Sandy. Haida, thank you so kindly for your contribution, Haida. A new member, thank
You're
you
clear.
so kindly for the contribution, Haida. Folks, we are now $450 away. Haida, you made my day, my dear beautiful lady. I'm going to throw it to the studio real quick, and then we'll close this baby down. Studio.
Hey, listen, I just really kind of think America is the pot calling the kettle black. You know, we're doing very, very bad things in the world. We're treating people bad, and we're pointing our finger at other people and accusing them of being bad, and we're attacking them. And this is not good for America. We're becoming an empire. And do you want America as an empire that does this?
Thank you, Jack. Mayana.
Yeah, I think we're at the point where thinking that America is coming in to do any good for any country is something that, like, we just kind of need to wipe away from our thoughts. Most, big countries or first countries are not doing that. That's not what they're doing. So.
We have a lot of work to do, and I let me tell you, our country is going to be what we make our country to be. Our first caller today made sure and said something important. Go vote. Tuesday is the big voting day tomorrow in Texas. Please, people, all of you, go vote. Go vote your moral. Go vote and show who you are. Vote for people who you know are going to do well for society, do well for us all. Don't vote an ideological boondoggle. Vote for people who love human beings. Vote for people who really support America. Vote for people who want America to be that beacon on the hill, that beacon on the mountain. That's who we say we are. That's who we are. As Cheryl says, vote your values. And I tell you what, guys, I know most of your values are well. One last speech before we leave. I'm going over by a couple of seconds. Folks, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Please give whatever you can, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can. A $25 contribution, a $50 contribution, a $100 contribution. Please let it be known, because I'm going off the air now. Please let it be known it's for Politics Done Right. Or you can go to kpft.org, kpft.org, and hit the donate button. Scroll down to Politics Done Right so it's accounted for appropriately. Give whatever you can. I'm going off the air now. The rest of the program is at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, where you can see the hunger video, etc. Love you all from the depths of my heart. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
You're